I've always believed that a man's possessions are more than just things, especially when it comes to a machine like my Harley Davidson. My father and I spent countless nights in the garage putting that bike together. The smell of oil and metal, the sound of wrenches clinking, and my dad's steady voice guiding me through every bolt and every wire. It was more than just fixing a bike. It was building a bond. When he passed away, that Harley wasn't just transportation, it was family. Every time I revved the engine, it felt like he was right there with me, reminding me to stand tall, stay strong, and never let anyone push me around. So imagine my disbelief the day Karen, our HOA president, decided she wanted that Harley, not for herself, but for her spoiled 18-year-old son. Now you have to understand something about Karen. She wasn't just any HOA neighbor. She was the HOA neighbor, the type who believed the entire neighborhood revolved around her clipboard and endless set of rules, the kind who peeked over fences, measured lawns with rulers, and handed out fines for leaving a trash can out an hour too long. The first time she saw my Harley parked in the driveway, she gave me this look, like she was trying to decide if it belonged there. Her son, a lanky kid who couldn't tell a wrench from a screwdriver, stood behind her, wide-eyed and practically drooling over the chrome. I thought nothing of it. Kids dream, right? But Karen wasn't looking at the bike with wonder. She was calculating. A few days later, she strutted up my driveway. Her heels tapped like a judge's gavel, and she wore those oversized sunglasses that made her look like a character out of some suburban courtroom drama. She didn't waste time on pleasantries. She pointed directly at the Harley and said, "My son's birthday just passed. He's turning into a man, and a man deserves a motorcycle. That one will do." I actually laughed. I thought it was some bizarre attempt at humor, but her face didn't move. No smirk, no twitch, nothing. She was dead serious. "Karen," I said, "this Harley isn't for sale. It's not even just a bike. It's my dad's legacy. It's not going anywhere." Her lips pursed into that thin line I'd seen her wear before she handed neighbors fines for ridiculous infractions. She raised her clipboard like it was a holy book. "This vehicle isn't registered with the HOA. According to our bylaws, unapproved vehicles can be removed or reassigned. Consider this me giving you a chance to do the right thing before I escalate it." I nearly choked. Unapproved vehicles? This is a licensed, insured Harley Davidson. It's my private property. The HOA doesn't get to reassign it like it's some community lawnmower. But Karen didn't back down. Her voice got sharper. "Your driveway is visible from the street, and this motorcycle is not in harmony with the neighborhood aesthetic. It's a liability. If you don't hand it over voluntarily, I'll have no choice but to file a complaint." Now, normally, I might have just laughed her off and walked inside, but this was my dad's Harley. There was no way in hell I was going to let her treat it like a toy she could hand off to her spoiled son. I stood my ground. "Karen, let me be crystal clear. This Harley isn't going anywhere. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. If your son wants a bike, he can save up and buy one like the rest of us. But this one? Over my dead body." Her jaw clenched so tight I thought she might crack a tooth. She scribbled something furiously on her clipboard, snapped her pen, and then turned on her heel without another word. I figured that was the end of it. But with Karen, nothing was ever that simple. The very next morning, I heard the distant wail of sirens. At first, I thought maybe they were headed somewhere else, but then I saw the red and blue lights reflecting off my living room window. My stomach sank. I stepped outside, and there they were. 2 squad cars parked right in front of my driveway. And standing proudly next to my Harley, arms crossed like she had just won a battle, was Karen. Her son was there too, smirking like Christmas had come early. One of the officers walked toward me. Karen pointed dramatically at the Harley. "That's the one. This man is violating HOA regulations. This vehicle isn't authorized, and it needs to be impounded immediately. My son will take responsibility for it." I froze for a second, partly in shock, partly in disbelief at her audacity. Was this woman actually trying to use the police to steal my bike? My hands balled into fists, but I forced myself to stay calm. Getting angry wouldn't help. I walked down the driveway, every step slow and deliberate, until I stood right in front of her. "Karen," I said in a low voice, "this has gone too far. You don't get to call the cops to try and take something that doesn't belong to you. But she just smirked, adjusting her sunglasses. The law is on my side. You'll see, for the first time in years, I felt that old fire in my chest. The same stubborn defiance my father had when people tried to push him around. I looked at the officers, who honestly seemed a little unsure about the whole thing, and I said, "Before you even think about touching that Harley, I'm making a call." Karen laughed, this sharp, mocking sound. "Call whoever you want. It won't matter. The HOA rules are binding. You're finished." What she didn't know, what she couldn't have known, was that I had someone in my corner who was way above her clipboard and her fake legal jargon. Someone who made sure people like Karen learned the hard way that property, rights, and the law weren't toys to be played with. As I pulled out my phone, I could already see the smugness start to falter just a little on her face. She thought she had me cornered, but she was about to learn the one truth my father always taught me. Never underestimate the man who knows the law better than the bully who bends it. And that call, that was the beginning of the end for Karen. 2 officers were standing near my Harley, and Karen was there too, arms crossed with a smug smile, acting like she'd just scored a victory. "That's the bike," she told them. "He's been violating HOA rules, and it should be impounded immediately. My son will take responsibility for it." One of the cops looked uncomfortable, but the other seemed ready to tow it. My blood boiled, but I stayed calm. "Gentlemen," I said, "before you touch that bike, let me make a call." Karen scoffed. "Call whoever you want. The law's on my side." I dialed the number, and within minutes, a black sedan pulled up. Out stepped the state attorney, an old friend of mine, someone I'd helped years ago when his car broke down on a back road. He never forgot the favor. The moment Karen saw him, her smugness evaporated. The state attorney walked straight up, looked at the officers, and said, "This is a personal vehicle, fully licensed and registered. If anyone here is breaking the law, it's the woman making false claims." The cops froze, caught between HOA drama and state authority. Karen's voice cracked as she tried to protest. But HOA rules! He can't just keep that bike." The state attorney fixed her with a stare sharp enough to cut glass. "Karen, HOA rules don't override state law, and trying to steal someone's property by manipulating law enforcement is fraud. Do you want to continue this conversation at the courthouse?" Karen went pale. The officers stepped back, nodding respectfully toward the attorney, and one of them told Karen she could be charged if she didn't stand down. She turned on her heel and stormed away, her little empire crumbling with every step. I patted the Harley's seat and grinned. Emily purred like she knew she'd just survived a battle. The attorney clapped me on the back. "Keep that bike safe. Some things are worth fighting for." From that day on, Karen never set foot on my driveway again. My Harley stayed right where it belonged, gleaming under the sun, a symbol of family, freedom, and the reminder that some neighbors may bark, but when the law is truly on your side, they don't bite for long.